Hello friends, they will see frequently asked interview questionnaire Spring. So the question one is explain what an idempotent API is in the context of REST and can you provide some ways to implement it in a Spring application. So actually idempotent API is an API operation that can be safely repeated multiple times without producing different results beyond the initial invocation. So in other words, right, making the same request multiple times would have the same effect as making it just once. This property is important to ensure reliability and consistency of API operation now. So let's see how we can implement it now. So here I have defined the item controller. So I have created item as a post method. So where I have received it accepts idempotent key as the request header, and the request body I am setting some item payload as a string. So once I receive the request, what I will be doing is I am checking whether it is a duplicate request or not. So we have to define the logic for that. So we can write it in different ways. You can have distributed cache which stores the payload for a certain days based on your requirements. You can say it in a day or a week or a month. That's your call. So it's based on the requirements. We have to define it. Otherwise, you can save it in the database also. Whether you save it in cache or database, you have to remove that after some period of time. Otherwise, it will be a stale data. Like it will create unnecessary storage issues. So once it is successful, right? So here I'm simulating some time-consuming operation. Like I'm sleeping the thread for 2 seconds. Here it can be anything. Like you will be making an API call to other services, or you will be processing the data or validating the data, whatever it is. So I'm generating some random ID to just identify whether the item ID is there or not. So here I have created, this is just for temporary storage, it can be like your cache or a database. So here what I have done is apply number 30. I'm just, if it is not a duplicate record, right, I'm just having some responses. For example, item number, item ID, I'm sending the item potency keys 1, 2, 3, 4. The random ID could be something like this, and the item payload is mapped to it. So and I'm adding it to the actual record also along with the item potency key. If the item potency key is available, right, I will be returning the item ID. So here you can check if it is already created, right. I'm just getting the existing item ID. So here it is the logic for it. Actually it could be in cache or database to store it, but for now, for the sake of simplicity, I have added it in the map to return the results. Let's run this application to check the data. There you see, right? I get the response as the item potency random ID, like which I generated here. If you can see, here I have generated the random ID, which is written here, actual record. So if I hit the same request with the same item potency key, right, we will be seeing the same response. Yeah. So if I update the item potency key, right, it will return different. You see that here you will be seeing the delay because I'm simulating that process here, right? So that's the delay that you are seeing it here. If I hit the same request with the same key, right, you will not be seeing the delay. But if I add the item potency key as different, right, here you will see the delay. The delay is 2 seconds. So our next question is, yeah. So here is our next question now. So explain the difference between path variable and request parameter notation in Spring Rest. Because this is mostly asked by every interviewers if they have taking the Spring interview. If you have knowledge of Spring, right, you might have heard of it. So path variable is used to extract values from the URL path. Request parameter is used to extract the values from the query parameters. Yeah, let me just explain it to how it is working. So if you see right here, I have defined an endpoint. So in request mapping, right here I'm using ID, and this is I'm using this as a get method. Okay, so in path variable, if you see right, then this request has some value in it. This is the path variable that I have mentioned it. So you have to annotate the path variable with the same ID. Like here I mentioned ID, so I have just I have to mention the same ID. If you use different variable, right, it will throw an error. So if you see right, request parameter, that will be coming in the parameters, HTTP parameters, right, that will be coming. So I will just show you how you can make the request. So if you see here, right, this is our base path. The API item is our base path, and then this get user endpoint is user and ID. So if you see right, after users, right, I have passed to 1 to 3, which means it is directly mapped to that particular ID and name as test. So here I am giving it. You see right? Yeah. So if I hit the request, right, ID found 1 to 3, and for username, this is the username that I have given it here. You'll be seeing it. So let's if I give different name, right, bad request is coming because this is not defined it here. If you see right here, I have defined name as a parameter, so it should be the same as the key. If I use this, right, it will work. Yeah. That's it, guys. If you have any questions, do let me know in comments.